I began my coaching agency in 2019. And let me tell you that what looks like progress isn't really progress when you find yourself constantly sketching out your new offer, researching your niche, identifying your ideal client and changing it constantly, thinking about different directions that you want to take. It feels like movement when you do that, but every time you switch plans, I just want to let you know you're starting over. I hate that I have to be the example of this lesson, but I am. In 2019, I started my coaching agency and I started with the network marketing leaders that were looking to grow their teams basically. And what I said was, my premise was the most efficient way to find the right people for your team is to grow an online audience. And I specialized in that space for, I would say, 3 to 4 years. So that took me, let's see, 2019 to 2023. That agency produced about $380,000. It was doing very well. We served upwards of about 80 clients, I would say, in a year long program. It was a great residual revenue producing offer, and my clients were getting crazy results. But what happened was instead of me staying in that space, resolving to mastery, I started shifting who I wanted to serve. And when I started to shift who I wanted to serve, and I won't get into why I wanted to serve a more narrow, actually a broader niche. It actually ended up being a broader niche. Um, but when I started thinking about that broader niche, I began to get really passionate about it. And I ended up throwing the baby away with the bathwater. I ended up sunsetting my entire program or offer that I had created, not realizing that what I was teaching to those individuals, that initial program, was the very thing that would be a subset of the larger offer that I would then put together in 2004, in 2005, and 2006. So I found myself recreating my offer. I found myself going bigger with regard to who I wanted to serve, and then coming back and narrowing back in. Um, it's crazy because the amount of focus that I already know is required to create momentum is the thing that ended up draining my, well, it was the, I would say I was focused on the direction that I wanted to go, but I wasn't focused in on staying where I was at. Had I done that, I believe I would have been much further along than I am now, and I wouldn't have been recreating things over and over again. But at the time, I didn't realize I was doing it. So, right now, I'm helping my clients create momentum by staying focused so that that their message can become much clearer, so that people understand who you help and how you help them, so that your authority starts to grow faster, so you stop looking for someone who um, you stop looking like someone who does a little bit of everything, and you start actually becoming known for one specific result, right? Because that's the only way that momentum will show up. The reason why we had so much success in 2019 through 2023 is because I became known for servicing the network marketing industry, specifically women leaders. And then I started speaking on different virtual stages directly to those group of women. And then I became a resident speaker inside of one of the leading online coaching businesses. Her influence is massive, and she gave me all of her leads that would come through her funnel to me that were network marketers, because she only served online coaches. So that opportunity was grand. But again, because of my mastery of knowing so many different roads um, that I could go down, because of my management consulting background. I was a generalist. I can do just about anything when it relates to business. I can teach on a lot of different topics. I could help people make impact in so many different ways when it comes to business that I did not stay in that network marketing lane. I actually ended up growing my audience to just small business entrepreneurs. And then I ended up narrowing back in again to corporate women who are looking to make the leap or who have already made the leap out of corporate and into entrepreneurship. So it's like I was small, I got big, I went small again. And the same thing happened with my programming. I created a huge curriculum and that was unnecessary. So I find myself bringing it back in, back in, back in, back in. So my point is here, I'm just trying to help you bring alive the idea and concept and your own knowing deep down already that you're not staying with one decision and you need to stay with one direction. Not only one decision, but one direction. Because every time you pivot to a new idea, you're back at the beginning again. But when you stay in one lane, things start to build. You understand your clients better, your messaging gets sharper, your process gets smoother. Repetition is what's going to build your mastery, and mastery is what creates growth. So you can't build systems, traction, or authority around something that keeps changing. Okay? So I just want you to ask yourself one question. Look at the myriad of ideas that you have with regard to your offer, the people you want to serve, how you speak to them, with regard to the problem that you solve. Which one of those ideas is worth committing to long enough to make it work? Then I want you to choose that one idea, put the rest of those ideas into another file, into a folder, and just call it later file. Right? Because they're not bad ideas. They're just not what you're going to focus on right now. And then I want you to go into depth and resolve to mastery because on the one idea, on the one thing. Because your next level probably isn't in one of those other ideas that we put in the later folder. It's in the one idea that you haven't fully committed to yet. So that's my perspective on that.